And when I drop my rock, there it goes. Here the button hook works well because these two pieces are touching each other and it prevents the knot from slipping out. But what if I were to slowly add distance between these two ends? Eventually, the button hook would become less and less effective. And here, if I separate it out about 5 inches, it won't even hold at all. Now, taking a look at this bottle, when we tighten our bottle knot, you can see because of the diameter of the neck, our ends here for the handle are separated about 1 inch. Here on the other side, I've created a diamond knot. I could place it into the handle and create that button hook effect, but it's not going to hold because as soon as I release tension, it'll slip right out. And so by adjusting the length of the handle and the distance between the ends, we're going to create a disengaging repelling system. Now folks, if you're going to try this, please don't put yourself in a situation where you get injured or worse. Last thing you want to do is explain to the doctor that you saw it on YouTube. I'll take my rope and I'll twist in a loop. And then these two portions down below, that's going to form our window that we're going to end up pushing this top part down through. I'll take a bite on my right hand side and I'll place it through. Again, keeping it out to hold on to that window. Same thing on the other side, form a bite and I'll place it through. And now if we look down below, we have this rectangle here. I'm going to take the upper portion of my turn and just pass it through, inverting everything as I push on. And there we have our bottle knot. Now it's easier to recognize what you're doing as you invert the knot by looking for the top two portions on either side of the handle and the bottom two portions on the tension strands. Let me show you that again. We'll form in a loop, take a bite here, pass it through, take a bite here, pass it through. There's our window down below. I'll push that top portion of the turn. And now here we're looking like, what on earth am I doing here, right? Remember, we need 2 down below and then 2 up above. And there it is. There's a couple knots I tried for the button side on the free end. One is the oysterman stopper knot or trefoil knot. I can roll my rope towards me once, roll it towards me twice, and I'll pull my cord out through this loop that I made, tighten it as best I can. And now I'm going to take this free end here and I'm just going to pass it through the loop and then collapse everything down. And this gives us a trefoil knot because we have an equal portion going around the diameter of the rope. Now this works great. Sometimes it works a little too well. And when you try to shake it free, it keeps on hooking on and it won't let go. And so here's the other knot that I tried. This one is wider on one side. I'll form a bite. I'll take my free end and I'll twist it away from me and then I'll throw it over the top and I'll pull it tight. Now I'll take my free end, I'll roll it towards me and then I'll throw it over the top again. And really what I've done is create a cow hitch into the end of my rope. Okay, we'll tighten everything together. We want this as tight as possible. Now I'll take this free end, I'll pass it through and I'll collapse it down just like the first knot that we did. Okay. So with this we have a little hook on the inside of the knot. It's also longer on one side than it is the other. And this allows a better way for the knot to find a place to slip out when we want it to. And so now it's time to tie in our rock. I'm going to place it in the center here and I want my handle to start off short because when I pull it tight, I want to have it as long as it is wide. And that's going to be our starting point. So now we're going to take our knot on our free end. We'll go around our anchor point, of course, but what we're going to do is place it through and we want to pinch this to hook it on. And if it holds, then we're doing well. If it's a little too loose and it slips out before you want it to, you want to lengthen your handle. We'll place this through our handle, making sure that we're hooked in, and we'll give it a pull. If it slips out before we want it to, we know that our handle's too short. All right, let's go ahead and give this some length. And to open this up, I'm just gonna grab the 2 portions on the bottom and I'm gonna do like a little stair climbing action. There we go. Now that's opened up, and I'm just going to pull it from the handle this time. There we go. That might be too much, but we'll give it a try. All right, take two. Going around through the handle. Make sure we're locked in. There we go. That looks like it's definitely going to hold. And when I drop my rock, there it goes. So now let's go over to Mount Charleston, and we're going to give this a try. So here's our setup. The rock is tied into the bottle knot, right where the bottle would go. Then over here, we have an Oysterman stopper knot right through the handle. And when I drop it, I'll be able to retrieve my rope. Well, that did work. I quickly realized that there is a big issue with using such a big rock. See, the farther you have to go with your rope, the farther you have to pull your rock once it releases. And if you have a heavy rock tied to your rope, there's going to be a whole lot of wear going on when you pull it all the way down. We tried tying in a smaller rock, and it seemed to work just as well, at least when we were right next to the tree.
Yeah, on you.
When we went all the way down the hill, the Oysterman stopper knot would not let go. So that's when I tried the other knot I showed you in the video. Okay, so the Oysterman stopper knot was a little too secure, so here's a different kind. It is a little wider than it is deep. So let's see if this does any better. Next we tried an even smaller rock, and it seemed to work just fine. So this is one of those cases where less is more. Alright folks, thanks for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, you can pick up a Marlin's bike at my shop, awesomeforsale.com. And while we're at it, I'd like to give a shout out to Jeri. Whenever you place an order on awesomeforsale.com, Jeri is the one who packs it for you. She helps in coordinating all the production and also handles all the customer service when you contact our site. And it's actually her birthday this month, so if you would, please leave a comment wishing her a happy birthday.